here. Okay, back with another live stream. Ooh, got itching everywhere all of a sudden. Alright, I guess the camera makes me itch. Let me check everything here. And actually, let's just go ahead and switch to the desktop, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get right to showing an update on it. Before I get started in the middle of it, let me make sure my audio is all good and everything. Okay, I just wanted to make sure everything was good there. Alright, so this is, I'm going to kind of go through an update on where I am so far with ridding my machines of the dreaded SafeWeb with VirusTotal SafeWeb with VirusTotal add-on. Of course, uninstalling the add-on was no big deal. The add-on in itself, how do we get to full screen in this? I figured out that this particular image viewer, it's not the default that I use all the time, but it will order them in you can do them in by date or by alphabet, I think. The other one, I think it kind of goes, GwenView is the one I usually use, and this one is, I don't remember what it's called, let's see. Ristorito. I guess that's an Italian cup of coffee or something, I don't know. Anyway, it will do what I want. If you go up here to view and go to where is it? Did I lose it already? Sorting and edit sorting. You can sort by file name or sort by date, and you can't do that. It just seems to automatically do what I normally do is I open any kind of file really from Crusader. So if I just open that, it up like that, then it will, and go open a file, then it will, usually it goes by how I have them sorted in Crusader, I think. Sometimes it does. Well, the crazy thing about screenshots is, sometimes I rename them, and whenever you rename them, I do it a lot because I want to be able to find them again easily, give them the name of what's going on. Then it'll change up the way the auto number sequence does, and that's what throws everything way off. Because maybe I took a few screenshots and I renamed a few, and then I started taking some more in the same. It doesn't matter if it's the same day or next day or whatever. It'll throw it won't go from that one to that one. It'll go from that one to that one. And so that might be one of the ones I wanted to show. So, my logic here is, and let's go ahead and shut this because I just wanted to have it open. I ended up doing that, but make sure my video was working and everything. That is the coolest picture ever. That is a real old-timey, not skin diving, but deep-sea diving outfit. That's what they used to use to go down to the depths of the bottom of the sea in the early 1900s, maybe even late 1800s. When I found that on a website, it said the dates and stuff. I would like to wear that and get dropped down to the bottom of the ocean. I think it'd be kind of fun for a while. All right, so as long as I can breathe good and everything. So anyway, these are some of my older screenshots from when I was first starting figuring all this out. The name of it, SafeWeb with VirusTotal. Can't use the mouse, got to use the keyboard. Well, I could if I clicked up there, but anyway, this is when I figured out that can't go. Oh, there it is, backwards and forward. I don't like it when things jump. I didn't know. I thought this was a good add-on. I didn't know it was the one that was serving up. Actually, when I finally figured out this is the code for this add-on, SafeWeb with VirusTotal, and I finally figured out that this addonbrowser.com, which I had discovered, was serving up links to bad malware and fake Firefox add-ons. It was popping up tabs in the browser, and I don't know. It seemed like it was happening every time my add-ons got updated, but then it just happened a couple of weeks ago. It started just happening every day, and I think what the deal is, if you see right here, they have some code in their add-on, and then it says VirusTotal.com VTAPI. I don't know what that stands for, but API is usually a interface. I forgot what it stands for, so I won't even go into it. But anyway, VirusTotal is the real one. So it says SafeWeb with VirusTotal. There's another screenshot of that where I was pointing that out to myself. And then, so you see it's kind of a play on words there, SafeWeb with VirusTotal. So they're using VirusTotal, yeah, but they're also serving up bad ads. I mean bad links. Where's the rest of them? Here we go. This is the one that really clued me in. This popped up one day, well, not too long ago, and fake Firefox update. And Firefox said, do you want to allow this? Well, I said no, because I could tell right away it wasn't real, especially if you go to, you look at the address it was going to. That's not Firefox's address, you know, when you go to download Firefox, it's mozilla.org or .com in the first place. And there, you know, I was like, what's this, FF install 25? That's, you see something weird like that, you know there's something wrong. So it you know, I got the clue pretty quick. Seems like I have I've got duplicates. I've been backing up my screenshots from different sources, so I think I'm ending up with duplicates. Because sometimes it says, do you want to override or rename? And I think, well, it could have the same name, so I'd rename. And there's some more information on that, and on that where I was looking into the, you know, into Firefox settings and stuff. And that's not what I'm really looking to show. I've already went all kind of through that before, but that did help me a lot. So what I'm going to do is open a new folder. I forgot. Okay, I was in that folder where I had actually went in there and renamed them like I was talking about. Now let's just go right here to my most recent screenshots. The other thing is you can open one screenshot and then it will play right through them. So that's pretty cool. I guess you can't do anything until it. Oh, I guess it's still. Yeah. I don't know if I can go full screen or not. Okay, now there's some of my. What's that? Okay, yeah, that tells me which direction to go. If I go to the right and it sees something really old, then I know to go to the left on the keyboard. That was on my last. I've been doing. It ended up that because of my Firefox sync, and I was in the middle of. Well, I had just got through installing Fedora 27 on my mom's. I upgraded her hardware to an 8-core and 8 gig of RAM, and I was put Fedora 27 on it. And I was getting ready to put all the software for her on it and stuff. When this happened. It happened on my machine, but I had already put this so-called SafeWeb, you know, with VirusTotal add-on. I'd put it in my machine, and then I thought, well, that's okay, because it was working. The scanner did work, and I had seen some odd tabs popping up during add-on updates. You know, you get like all your add-ons will update at the same time, and you'll get all the tabs. Usually they say like, thank you for updating so-and-so, and then it tells you the address, and it's the same, you know, the name of the add-on is the address of the website. Well, that one wasn't, and I never did quite figure it out, and then it, you know, it happened a few, some odd tabs opened up, and I never did figure it out a couple of months ago until the other day, well, a week ago, almost a week and a half ago, and the ones I just showed. And one of the other things that I don't know if I even have a screenshot of is it would open up seemingly random Amazon pages, and I thought that's got to be a trick, and they're trying to get you to type your password in there and then steal your password, and I'm sure it was, but I didn't figure it out originally. And then when it happened again, when I started checking Mom's machine, it was on her new machine. It happened on there. When I uninstalled it is when it happened, and then the laptop, the Dell 1520, that was the AS Rock machine, and the Dell 1525 laptop that I had Domain 8 on that I set up for her to use while I was working on her new machine. Well, it got the same add-on put in there by Firefox Sync. And luckily, I didn't actually have Sync turned on anything of mine but my Lenovo i5, at least so far, unless I get into another machine that I've forgotten about and find out it's on. So anyway, first I was just trying to hurry up and reformat everything, but you know, the file, there's personal files on each and one of these machines that needs to be backed up to my backup drive, which I scanned once, but now I'll have to do it again just to make sure, maybe a couple more times, and it took 16 hours the first time I scanned it, so because it's got about 3 terabytes of data. But I'll do it. But I've got right now everything shows to not have any more, you know, malware. Trojans is what was showing up in the browser cache. None of them got into the file systems that that showed up. So I still don't want to be typing in any new, the passwords that are saved in Firefox and encrypted. I think they would be safe in this case especially, but I think they would probably be safe even if you were like on a Windows machine and it was all infected. Luckily, none of these were Windows machines. Only Windows I have is a virtual XP in this machine, well, in two machines. But I've tried to not connect to each other, you know, since this happened on the network, and tried to be safe. But I did make one big mistake. I thought, well, I'm tired of. I was trying to be safe. I didn't want to connect, and so I didn't use TeamViewer or VNC to remotely show what was going on other machines. Because when I point the camera and zoom in, the only way I can set up my little phone cameras in here, they're just not high enough resolution to make a good picture. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try TeamViewer. Well, I won't go into that again. In the previous video, if you want to see how I got a real big. Right after I got them all cleaned up, I tried that, just to show something. Well, it wasn't in 12 wouldn't. I installed 13 on the Dell 1525 laptop, and that all seemed to go fine, except for the normal warning. It said this software. Do you trust it? Well, on Debian it said this is not trustworthy. But I thought, well, that's just the normal. Do you trust this? So I said yes and install it, and then I tried to connect, and I have 12 on this Lenovo Wi-Fi, and it couldn't connect. And so anyway, and then a bunch of SE Linux warnings popped up. So I'll go to the previous couple of videos and you'll see, if you want to see all that, if you want to see a bunch of trials and what not to do when you're in the middle of trying to clean up systems in Linux or any system really, but and what not to do, and how much trouble TeamViewer can be too. So these are the scans, and all these, it says broken heuristics broken executable. I have this ClamAV, you know, KLAMAV is the GUI graphic user interface, CLAMAV is the back end of the virus scanner, and it's a terminal program. So I don't, you know, it's too hard to run that stuff in the terminal, trying to remember all the commands and to type them right. So I always use the graphic user interface. So anyway, when you see, you have nice things to read and everything. A lot easier to read it like this, even if it's simple. Sometimes it is simple to just say, you know, scan or whatever, ClamAV scan, or I don't even know what the command is, but probably could do it. I've done it before, once or twice. What's this? Okay, that's some maps. Okay, see, I'm going the wrong way. Okay, so there's nothing that's actually bad in this screenshot. These are all system files. They're not actually broken. It's because I have always ClamAV. The only way I can really explain it, it's looking for Windows viruses, and to the ClamAV, it looks like a broken executable, but it's not. It's all my system files that work. If, for instance, right up there, if those were broken, those are some of my kernel files. I wouldn't be showing you this. I wouldn't be running. So, and then the encrypted zips, well, a lot of them are supposed to be encrypted, but also malware will hide itself by encrypting itself, the file it's in or whatever. So if it's a suspicious file name, you don't know what it is, then I would go ahead and delete it. And, okay, that looks like the same screenshot, basically. Okay, now there's a couple. I thought, okay, Thunderbird, wait a minute, maybe that's a bad email, but I got to looking at it, it's not an email file, it's training DAT, so that would be for the spam training thing, part of Thunderbird, so that I didn't delete those. And then just each one, I just, some of my, well, I highlight them because, you know, you can't get the whole window. Okay, now this is kind of in reverse. That was when that scan was completed. This looks like it'd be another scan. I did so many, and I don't even know, now that the screenshots are kind of all merged into some of the same folders, I'm not sure which machines anymore. I try to keep it all separated, but it just got to be so overwhelming, I just didn't care anymore. I just wanted to have these screenshots, though, for myself, and I knew I might use them in the video, so I'm just kind of going, now that's a, you know, something that I thought, do I trust this, you know? Even when you get something like that, okay, it says it's from Google and it looks like it's from Google, but I use, in Thunderbird, I use Dr. Web link scanner, right click and scan it to see if they're clean, and it works pretty good, but sometimes you get a error, failed to scan, and it's not because sometimes it's because it won't let you scan it, and it is bad, you know that, logically. Sometimes it's just because it's a certain type of a web page, you know, like dynamic websites, maybe it's I've noticed that if you look at the link, if you can see where it goes to, I'll go back over there. Well, you can't see it in this shot. You have to go all the page all the way down to see it. Oh, right in here. If you can see the full length, if it's a short one and it says PHP on the end or something, a lot of those won't. Some will, some won't scan. Okay, so that's about all I guess I've got in this folder. What folder am I in now? Let's see about opening up another folder. Okay. Screenshots of level I5. Okay. Well, I wasn't thinking. I really wanted to go to. That's why there's not as many as I was expecting. I was thinking to myself, where's my backup drive? I just got through backing everything up to the backup drive. That's where I meant to go in the first place to start doing this. Okay, so there's still. Okay, now this I know for sure is screenshots from my username in the 83 in Mom's ASRock with the 8-core 8300 processor and 8 gig of RAM. So let's see what we got. Some of these are not going to have anything to do with that. Oops. I should have previewed these. Okay. Now, that was me shopping. That's what it was. So I didn't really want to show any of that. Not that it's probably, it's not going to, that's Amazon and all it shows. It's not really anything. It's not going to show, you know, it doesn't show your credit card number or anything. So I just want to hurry up and get out of there just in case. I know it doesn't, but, you know, you feel pretty worried when you're like, oh, that's not really what I wanted to show. Virus total search, that's another one. Now this page, I'm going to have a screenshot of the Safe Web with Virus Total page that tries to look like virus. It's a Virus Total add-on. See, it has all that Virus Total junk in here. This is another one that looked, I was trying to find it so that I could report it to Firefox. Found this one. I think this is another fake clone. I don't know for sure. I didn't waste time, you know, well, darn sure I'm going to download it and install it and then just find out if it's bad. But I would watch out. I would check this thing out before I used it. I don't know how you can do it without. The thing is, okay, now here this is one. Whoops, I was rolling my mouse wheel and it changed. The website's not when you hover over anything that like the rest of the page is down below there, but. There's the add-on page, right? But their website, it does the same thing on the bad one, the one I know is bad for sure that I installed. It doesn't show you. That's one of the tricks that malware sites will do, and they're trying to hide where they're really at and what's going on. If you hover over a link, it won't show it down at the bottom, right down in this area. It will just be nothing. Okay, now here's VTZilla. This is a real one. Now, these are screenshots from my video, so you know you're not getting. See, I have my mouse right there by Virus Total, but you can see that it was a video because of the YouTube play and all that in the bottom there, and what says YouTube. Anyway, this is the real one. This is the installed in my in my add-ons. This is the real one, VTZilla by Virus Total. And their site, if you hover over that and if you go to their add-on page, everything's up and up. You can see where you're going. You can go to their virustotal.com page. That's the real one. This is good. You can use it. You can right-click and scan links. You can go to there's a page you can go to. I think it might be virustotal.com. I'm not sure if it's that page or like another page. And you can upload files and scan them with 60 or 64 different virus scanners. And I've been using it for years, but here's the thing that got me. When Firefox changed over to the new Quantum Firefox and retired all the old add-ons, well, VTZilla was retired. They hadn't built a new one yet. I guess they were in the process of it. So that's what got me to looking for a new link scanner add-on. And so I had found that other one. I didn't even find it. This was not out, I'm sure, because I just found it not too long ago. About 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. I've had that other one ever since the day that Firefox Quantum came out. It was back in 2017. That's how long I had this stupid thing, and could have done no telling what if to my system if I would accidentally clicked on any of those fake links. I knew that once in a while some tabs would open up with weird, stupid games and stuff that I wasn't interested in. It just made me mad, and I couldn't figure out why it was doing it. But I noticed that it always happened when my add-ons updated, and I thought, well, I guess it's just they just want you to try their stupid games. But I knew there was something really weird about it that I knew I wasn't about to click on anything in there because it didn't tell you what add-on it belonged to. I knew it was opening up when my add-ons updated, but it didn't correspond with any of the add-on names. It didn't tell you that, SafeWeb with virus total wasn't listed on that site. It wasn't in any of their blinking ads or anything. It had this slideshow blinking ads, which I hate. And also, I use AdBlock Plus. It normally blocks all that stuff. So when you can't block that stuff, it's usually a nefarious site. Okay, so there it is again. Sometimes I took some screenshots of, like the link, and I did that at some point. So that's how see, it looks just like that other one I was showing you a while ago, the page. So that's why I think they may even be made by the same people. And I did trace down this website, and it is registered in Vietnam. And so, websites are registered everywhere, and that doesn't mean that the people are actually in Vietnam, though, because I could register a site in Vietnam if I wanted to. But you do notice trends, like everyone knows if it's a Russian website, 50-50 chance it's bad. If it's a Chinese, it's probably higher than that. Vietnam is somewhere in there, is well known for a lot of malware coming out of those domains. Now, like I said, where the people are, sometimes I've traced a few of those in emails, and it turns out they're right here, traces back to America, and but it had one of those, like, whatever different country URL file extensions on it. So now what do we got? Okay, here's some of my links I was working on. Okay, what's this? This is code to, that's I figured this out along the way. TeamViewer Bitdefender rescue system. When you open up, it has TeamViewer on it, and when you open up TeamViewer, it actually is not installed, because I was wondering how, it's actually downloads it and then opens it up for you. It's a script that'll do that, and that's pretty cool. I actually want to try using that. Well, I want to try building my own for 64-bit. That's i386 is what it downloads. That's also how come I think I did that 3 times in a row, because I didn't know. I don't remember why I clicked on it 3 times, but I thought it wasn't working because it wasn't doing nothing. Because what it was doing was taking a while to get started up and download, because it was on my older, slower laptop, the Dell 6000. It's 1.7 gigahertz single core. And then later on that day, when I was trying to connect, I installed 13 on the Dell 1525 and tried to connect to it. They stopped me. They wouldn't let me because they thought I was using it. They said, we think we're using our software it's free for personal use, but not for commercial use. And they said, we've been tracking you, and we think by your use, you're using it for commercial use. Well, the only thing I can figure is because I opened on that I used it the last couple of days, and then I opened it 3 times in a row within 1 minute, 3 minutes or whatever. So don't do that on Bitdefender. If you don't copy down that script and do it over and over, they'll probably kick you out. So here it is right there. That's I did a screenshot of that. And this is one of my other videos where I was actually showing it, going to the page. And so let's see what else we got. I don't think there's going to be more. This is some more of my work. I figured out that once I was trying to get rid of, I manually deleted every reference to addonbrowser.com. That's where the bad website, where the bad fake BTzilla comes from, the link scanner. Anyway, the only place it was places SQLite in Firefox, in the Firefox folder, or in your profile folder. That is actually your bookmarks. So I figured all that out going through all that. Okay, that's the end of those. Whoops, no, it wasn't. I guess, like I said, a while ago. Yeah, I'm ending up with more duplicates. I can look and see. Where's the name? Oh, this one's not showing the file name. Okay. Same screenshot I showed a while ago. I'll keep going for a little bit here because I don't know. I didn't want to spend forever going through them and renaming them again. I'd never get anywhere. So, that reminds me. And that's another thing that's been happening and this probably is related, and that's but over these months, I don't know if it started right when I got that on or not. I really don't remember. But speaking of Firefox here, I keep clicking through them, and all I'm getting is like the same page with the mouse in different places. But this was like when I was going through the privacy and stuff, and I went ahead and changed my password, because once in a while somebody would try to log into my Firefox, my Facebook, which I don't even hardly use at all because I don't really like it. Somebody would try to log into it from Russia and Windows 8 machine, and so that's very likely connected. So they may not be in Vietnam. They may be in Russia. So or somebody may be. So this made me very worried. Once all this started, I'll go ahead and get out of these screenshots. I think that's all I want out of those. So that made me very worried. If I can figure out how to get out of them. Okay, here we go. I can't remember. Okay, I don't think there's anything in there I want to show, but this one here that's just plain old screenshots folder is going to have a bunch of the recent scans. There we go. Now, because that is actually from my SD card that has Bitdefender on it. That's Bitdefender as it was. That's actually the log viewer, and it shows actually for these last few days when I've been using it, so 15th to the 27th. Even though it's a live system, somewhere it's saving and telling you at least how many logs you have. It doesn't give you the log where you can read it, but that's interesting. So that's the scan, the last scan, no threats detected. So that each one of my machines I scanned with whatever I could. Bitdefender will mount, and it will try to mount everything that on whatever system you boot it up to. And there's that icon for the Team Viewer that'll download and install Team Viewer. But it will try. I'll go ahead and check my stream and everything. It will try to scan every drive on the system that you have it booted up to, and which is good, and once that preview gets loaded, I want to make sure my voice is still working. Yeah, okay, so we seem to be good. I mean, we are good. Okay. But, on the Debian 8 system, it uses, I think it's ext4 all the way around file systems, and it can mount those, because this is a Linux distro that it's running in. I kept forgetting to really check. It didn't have a graphic system monitor like I use all the time that could just quickly tell you, and I couldn't remember the commands to see what your system you're running. But on Fedora, it uses LVMs, and it can't mount those because I tried it on my. So I could use it on the Debian 8 systems. Probably could use it on Debian 9. I just haven't set up a Debian 9 yet to know. Fedoras, any of them, all the way back, they all use LVM, so it wouldn't scan any Fedora system. So I always scanned them. It's not the best way, but it really was. At first, I was thinking, well, that's the only way I can do it. So I would scan it from within its own operating system. But in Windows, that's not. Don't even bother with Windows, because they will for sure hide when you try that. That's why rescue systems are so good. Then I got to thinking, well, wait. I've always wanted to make me a rescue system with Fedora live system, and I thought, well, but the thing was, I knew these dual cores, and probably my quad core might do it, but the dual cores would not. I've tried it, and they just lock up. They can't. The memory fills up, and they can't do it. They just can't do it because the memory will fill up by the time you download ClamAV and then you start running it. A couple 3 hours later, it locks up. So, but Mom's is an 8-core with 8 gig of RAM, so I thought it'll do it, and it did. Flying, didn't take and there wasn't that much data on it anyway, so it did it real quick. That's back to ClamAV, but this one is Bitdefender running on its little live rescue system. That's a Linux distro of some sort. All I can see right quick was that it had XFCE desktop, and so I know it's a Linux system. And I could just kind of tell by the way the desktop looked before I even noticed that. But if it was Windows, there are some that are based on, well, they're usually DOS, not Windows. And they can only mount, Windows type of what file system that Windows uses. So there's your screen when after it's done. You can't move around to these other screens until if it's scanning. And I think if you catch it before it starts scanning, you can, like, you go to settings and tell it different, you know, like maybe you want some folders but not others or something. But you got to really, you got to catch it the instant it, because the first thing it does is start automatically updating. You can't do it while it's updating. But I believe I have caught it before, right before it starts scanning, and which is like not even 30 seconds, and been able to change it. So it's pretty much automatic, and you're stuck with what it does. This is just more of the log, you know, and then the same thing. The different scans, I think, yeah, different scans. Might be, I don't think there's a date on there, though. There's dates in the logs. I mean, there's April 27th, 14th. See, that one was 27th, 437. And then April, yeah, okay, I was just looking through the different log dates and stuff. Okay, and then, so different scans, and I scanned the Dell 1525, I scanned my backup drive with Bitdefender. The Dell 1525 has Domain 8 on it, the one that Mom's using right now. So I was able to scan those with Bitdefender, so that gave me at least 2 scanners for those. But for my machine and her new machine, I just had to use ClamAV. Now here's those settings I was talking about that you can get into after it's done. Yeah, there's not really anything in there about, I just now realized. Update server, logging settings and stuff. So you can't tell it, I guess you can't tell it to or not to scan any certain directories. You sure can. Okay, so never mind on that. Another scan. I'm just going through these. I don't remember what's exactly in here. So, and there was no issues in this one. That's why it says 0 issues to resolve. And that's where I was fixing issues. So actually, okay, this is after the issues were fixed. This is that first scan on the Dell 1525 laptop. This was all luckily in there was a bunch of files that failed to scan, and I saved that log, but it's really weird, and I don't have screenshots of every little detail, but yeah, I don't think, but I tried to get that log and read it because I really wanted to know where every one of those files, it doesn't tell you where they are, but every one of these files, there was 24 of them, but I did see that almost all of them were in the, all but 2, because when you delete them you get to see where they're at. All but 2 were in the browser cache, and 2 of them were PDFs that, and these that were PDFs that I thought, well, it could have got to, you know, it could have spread out to there, or it could have been there a long time. There were old files of mine that were actually, that I had made a folder, Don's file so-and-so, and I can't remember, maybe I'll see them here in a minute to explain that, but and I'm not going to try to read these off because I'm having trouble mumbling and jumbling, but there you are. There's a set of several of them, and then there's some more. Got my mouse up there. See, if you kind of pay attention to where that slider is, it tells you on the right there. And then see, I put my mouse at, see, I guess I was interested in that one. Well, that's a Trojan downloader. That's why that would really wreak havoc on you. I mean, they're all bad, but downloaders are, and that's the same scene again. So I can tell by the slider where it's at. Well, it does change. Huh. No, I don't know, but let's see. See if it's the same names. Oh, they're the same names in there. Same names, okay, yeah. And then I was looking down there trying to see where they were at, but you can't even see where they're at. So you can't. If this window would just allow you to do full screen, then you might actually be able to tell where they're at. That just aggravates the heck out of me. Okay, now there's still the same list. I know there should be another screenshot where you see the top part of that list. Yeah, there's the middle, kind of that bottom half of it. So there's a whole another bunch of them. And I mean, this darn addonbrowser.com was nefarious. I mean, it was trying its darnest to infect the heck out of my machine, or all of my machines. But and this was, now me, I know for darn sure I didn't click on any of that stuff. Mom says she didn't click on any of it, so I doubt she did. You know, she saw that fake Firefox update, and she knew it was something that looked scary, and so she just closed the web browser and shut the machine down. She quit using it. Let's see. Oh, but then the machine. Okay, so but after that, I uninstalled the add-on, and it popped that thing up. Now it could have immediately at the same time it was popping it up just to, when you delete malware, it does stuff like that. I don't know if it's just to try to scare you or try to. I think it's most of all, I think it's trying to attack you. So that might have been when all those hit. But I did let her go ahead and use it because I said, okay, just don't type any passwords, any personal information in any website, period. When your passwords that are encrypted, they'll auto log you in somewhere, and because I didn't have anything else for her to use, but then the next day she did do something like that, and so I took it and I said, okay, maybe you're just going to have to try to use the tablet. She has a tablet, an Android tablet that I got for her, but I can't hardly use it, and she couldn't really use it. So then I decided I'm going to have to scan these things and clean them up. And then I realized, well, her emails and all that junk, that's the latest versions of all of her personal files is on that laptop. So I have to scan that thing till it's clean. And of course, I won't keep any of the operating system. I'm going to reformat it. But her personal files, if there were any of them, infected, then I would delete them. But so I went to scan it, and that's why I'm going on and on here. So there's some more. And in this same particular scan, and this was, like I said, this was the Dell 1525 and the first time I scanned it, so I do remember that part. Now there's the top of that list. So there's adwares, Android riskware, and this is a Linux system, not an Android system. Exploit, spammer, it's just everything under the sun. Tesla crypt, oh. Wow, if that could have if that hit a Windows system, it might have encrypted the file system. Of course, that wasn't. Luckily, there still are things. There's things more and more that can hurt Linux systems, especially if it could hurt them. Especially the two things it could do that I've read about happening on Linux systems is keyloggers, and just basically a nefarious remote desktop where they can just watch what you're doing and see what you're typing and stuff see your screen. Other than that, I haven't seen Tesla crypt, like encrypt your drives and stuff. This didn't happen, so they weren't successful, and these things weren't spread all over the system. They were all in browser cache. Trojan. Downloader, generic. I'm just kind of looking them over there. Yeah, okay, now. Okay. Whoops. Okay. So. Bad add-on. All this came, and now this wasn't. I was saying now those two files that were mine, they've been in her documents, for a long time. So they could have had. I never did see them. I thought I took a screenshot when I saw them. Maybe it's in a different spot, but. They may have gotten infected from this. They might have just happened to have been had their old PDFs that had vulnerabilities in them. Because PDFs, they've been common for years for catching, for being vulnerable to malware. So one of these could have got in there, but I deleted them. And like I said, that was the only two that were outside of the browser cache folder. The rest were not, out in the system. Now, if there's something that my scanners couldn't see, they could still be there. That's this bad thing. What's this? This is a SE Linux alert. This is a report on SE Linux alert. Okay, C module. Okay, this is from way before. This is when I was setting the system up. This was an SE Linux alert. I think I was Netlink. I think I was trying to fix her onboard video. I was thinking that SE Linux might have been stopping her onboard network adapter won't work. I ended up putting a network card in it, and I don't know if it's going to work in Fedora 28 or not either. If it does, well, I might be able to find a driver for it somewhere, but that's all a different story. That's just part of the setup of the system before all this started happening. Wouldn't it be something if that This mal had put something on her system that was jacking up the network. Well, it was that way from the instant I installed it from the live system on before I put any browser add-ons in there or anything. So no, it wasn't. Okay, let's see. I don't think I'll go in that one because I don't remember what's in there. It's probably just more stuff that wouldn't have nothing to do with this. So I think that's pretty much it. Oh, the Lenovo i5. There might be some newer. Well, shouldn't be. I'll look. Let's see. Ooh. Whoops. Now I closed the program. Darn it. I don't remember the name of that program. Let's see. Well, I kind of do. V something. No, that one there? Yeah, cup of coffee. Okay. Okay, so as long as it's still going to sort it by date, all I got to do is do that. And it was kind of cool because, okay, now I want to be in, that is where I want to be. Okay, open. That's just where I was, where I started out. Do I have extra things in there? Let's see. TP-Link login, no. That's an old screenshot. Okay, so that's the virus scans. I think I'm needing to go in the other direction this time. Okay, now that's probably, yeah, that's an older screenshot. Okay, so I don't know. I don't think this thing strictly goes by the file date either. I'm not sure because that is pretty old to have Shockwave Flash in there and IST. So maybe that was the wrong direction. I might have started around at number 1. Adobe Flash Player. Seems like it's, maybe I hit that. It might be taking a while to switch and I'm hitting it too many times. I think it might be what's happening. So that's the one I started out with, I'm pretty sure, earlier, but I don't know if it's delaying or if I'm seeing the same one over and over again or what's going on. I don't see any indication of that. It could be slow because I'm looking on the backup drive. Actually, I'm going to just tap it now. Yeah, let me get over here and look and see. Yeah, it looks like it could have been using a lot of resources. Look at that, 10 and 16. I'm going to close it. Yeah, look at there. That's what it was. It's not, machines are not liking that. I may have been messing up my stream. Yeah, see, I'm going to force it to quit. It aggravates me when these things do that. Okay, I think I got it to quit. Because OBS is working it hard enough, you know. Okay, so that's enough of the whole screenshot deal. See on the screencast, am I going to be able to do what I wanted to do? I'm going to open up Crusader now. Let's make sure it's not going to overdo it. I'm going to reload my preview too while that's kind of getting up and going. I hope I didn't make my video start lagging and all that stuff. That just reminded me though, I was thinking of doing, I want to do some backups. Well, one of the main things I want to do is, there we go. Okay, we're good. Okay, let me look at my notes here. Well, I'm going to leave it on. If I switch to the camera, I'm liable to forget to go back to desktop. I'm kind of loopy tonight. I'm tired. I'm working a week and a half every day, all day on this stuff. Let's see. And I did a little physical chore yesterday too. I took down the TV in the kitchen and had to plaster the wall where it was where it tore the stuff off the wall. Actually got to go back and hit a second coat of spackle on that sometime tonight. Okay, make apps lists. Let's do that. Let's see, make an apps list of the Lenovo i5. I'm on it right now. Yeah, I got to make sure before I'm about ready to reformat this one, and I got to make sure everything's complete. All my daily backup should have taken care of it, but I am back to using, leaving my backup drive plugged in and letting it back up. But I want to make sure there's not something I've missed, so I'm probably going to go through all my documents and every important folder and manually back it up in Crusader. and it should just say nothing to do. Somehow, I still would like to. I still haven't seen a way to delete all my Firefox sync data. All I can see is deleting cookies and stuff. The only thing I saw that would be the safest thing to do, I guess, would be is you can delete your Firefox sync account, and then. But I still think I still want to use Firefox sync. I did for my passwords and stuff. Well, I do for Mom because she just never can type passwords right, and she locks herself out of her accounts. So she can't loses them. She can't find them. Can't remember them. I can't remember them either, but I don't lose them usually. So that would be for both of us. I'd have to delete both of our Firefox sync accounts and start over. I need to just do some research on their website and see how they handle all that, and if they keep the add-ons database safely separate. They should from the passwords database. And it's what I'm still worried about is could that bad add-on be nefarious enough to leave something behind, like a Trojan downloader in the Firefox add-ons database for for me, my Firefox add-ons section. Right now I just turned all the add-on syncing off, and it really has been convenient to use it, but boy, when you get hit like that, you don't know that you ever want to use it again. Okay, so right now I'm going to do that, and I thought it'd be good to show this. I'm always talking about it. So I like to look, let's see. Yeah, Crusader's kind of working it a little hard. Let's just close Crusader. I don't have to have Crusader to find. I need to find my commands. Well, I kind of did need it. Let's see. I'll go to my blog because that would be there for anyone to use. And I did in my I showed it in my previous video. I deleted my, I used Firefox in what I call standalone mode. It's at the installed version I don't use because this is Fedora 23 and it's not being updated anymore. So if I was to open up Firefox from right there, I would get like Firefox 54. So what you do is you just download the newest Firefox, unzip it into in Linux here into my home directory in Fedora or Debian, either one, and then I just this link that I actually put up there by going here and saying right click add to where is it? Let's just say I want FileZilla up there. Right click add to launcher to panel, and I'm going to not do it because I don't want it up there. But what you can do is just go in here and go to properties and just change where it points to. It says the command, the startup command. So you can use the browse button here. You don't have to know the commands or anything. And just go to the right directory, home, Don, Firefox, and the Firefox executable. And you'll say you'll know it because it'll say Firefox and it won't have a file extension. That will start it up. And so and I set it to automatically update, so see I'm at 60.0.2, so it's 64-bit. And it'll always be updated automatically. It'll even update quicker than, even if you have a brand new system, especially if it's Debian, it kind of stays behind because they focus more on stability than being new. So, but with Firefox and Thunderbird, web interfaces like that, you really want the absolute newest thing most of the time, because of all the vulnerabilities coming up. So I do that with Thunderbird and with Firefox. So even though Debian 8 is, I think it's actually EOL into life now, but the web browsers are up to date. And the other software, it still gets updates, but not a lot. So anyway, I'm going to go to my I think that'll be right. If I can type it right. There we go. That's my blog. And I don't blog as much as I used to, but I just saw that cool bust recently and blogged that video. But let's see. I'm going to see if I have a post on DNF apps list. It may just be under, I'm getting ads on there. Huh. Oh, I might have turned it off. I might have turned off the ad blocker on my blog because I have ads on my blog. I don't ever make any money off of them. I made money off of them once a few years ago, but I haven't in a long time. But yeah, yeah, you don't see the ads, okay? But there's ads on that. That's a Google custom search, is what that is. I set up and I put it in my blog. And anyway, there's ads in that. Maybe I have them turned on. I probably do. I think you have to use that. I don't think you can turn them off. But anyway, they're not being blocked by AdBlock Plus. That's what I was kind of noticing there. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to do Yum Apps List because my original, when I originally learned this, that's what it was. So it's not as good as a regular. It doesn't, or to me, I have more trouble. Even though it's better than the built-in search for Blogger, it's not as good as regular Google search. At least it's not for me, and this is my own blog. You'd think I would know, enough the right words to search for. Okay. Oh, I spelled that wrong. I guess it would help if I spelled the words right, wouldn't it? It may not have an auto. Obviously, it didn't say "did you mean," so it doesn't have that. Command Yum List Apps. Maybe that'll do it. Now at least I didn't get any ads. Do not run DNF update. That was when they first started using DNF. They were saying don't run it. There was some time period there when they put out a notice, don't run it. We're having trouble with it. That's it's 2016. But I'm always, it's the kind of stuff I'm doing right now. I've been into it for years, so I think I don't know if it's 10 years, but maybe 7 years or something, how long I've been posting on my blog. I'm trying to think of how can I find it. I remember one of the posts was certainly doesn't show up right there in the top. Okay, let's try this because Yum install script, that was my end game. That's why I make my apps list. Well, this is, what's that when you get that funny error on Chrome, like, oh snap, it's not working out right. Well, oh crap, this ain't working out right. Okay, so yeah, I used to always tell everybody, well, go search my blog if you want to know about that, because I knew I posted it on there, but I can't find it, so I guess they wouldn't. Documents, let's see, DNF install scripts, let's see. Now here's some of my scripts, some of the text files where I've made the list, and then there's some scripts there that are one of my newer ones, but I need, what I need is the Yum apps list, I guess, because I haven't. I just saved that post off my blog of how to do with those. There it is, Yum installed apps list command. Okay, but I got to go down there and find the HTML file. So, but I can do it this way. I've got it in there twice. Text, okay, ODT. I was thinking text is fine. I was thinking, there it is. There it is as a. I think it'll be easier to read if I open it up as a HTML file. I already closed the browser, but oh well. I closed it to keep from working the machine too hard while I'm making videos. I deleted a icon or something there, and I thought it would resort itself when I rebooted, but it didn't, so I guess I'm going to have to, yeah, see, this is an older post. 2010 is when I discovered how to do this, but let's see which one of my browsers that opened up, my old one or the new one. 50.1.0, that's the installed version, so it's not 54, it's 50. That's what, but since I double clicked on it, and sometimes, well, if you're already in the newer one, it'll open it in it, but if it's not open, it'll open it in the older one. So that's one thing to pay attention to if you use that. If you use I call it standalone, or it's like portable. It's not really standalone because it still uses your profile from this installed Firefox, and it's not portable because it wouldn't work by itself if you moved. You know, you can't just take that file and go and put it on a USB stick. And well, I mean, maybe you could run Firefox, but the way I'm doing it, it works with all my bookmarks and everything, you know, on this machine, but it wouldn't if you just copied that over to a USB stick. Okay, let's find these commands. I had made a previous post on how to make apps list, my favorite apps and stuff, and then found a way to get to lists. There's where you go. That's where I found it at. And the command you can run is right there, and it will just put it. You can tell it to put it like in your documents folder or something, but it's just as easy to just let it go to the temp directory there. Yum list installed, and you now it says yum, but actually let's just copy that part, and I'll put DNF in there. It'll still work right now, but at some point it might not. But I'll just put DNF space, and then I'll paste in yum list installed, temp yum list text, and then I'll just copy it over to my, you know, I'm going to put it in DNF because I'm going to do it with DNF. DNF install scripts. Now I'll go ahead and go to my home, absolute home root directory, not home, but root directory. There's temp right there. I'll open up temp. And I'm going to go ahead and use that terminal window there. And you'll have to get, I'll move it over here so you can see it forming. Have to get root privileges, so SU. I finally realized, the other day I was saying, well, what does SU stand for? Super user, that's what. Finally remembered. Sudo is for pseudo, like in kind of like, you know, sort of root privileges, but SU is for super user privileges. So I got to, I think I remembered it. We'll see. Yep, I did. Okay, DNF space, and I'll just paste in the rest of the command from my old blog post. And it will make a list, a text list file. Well, you can see it being made right there. It's right now it's pretty small. When it gets finished, when it brings up the command prompt, then you know it's finished. It's the file's growing now, getting bigger. Okay, it's finished. It's not even a big file or anything. So now you can't add, you know, write into the temp directory. You need root privileges, but you can copy from it. So I've already got it all set up here in Crusader, so I can copy it over. Now it'll have the Don, because if you do it, if you tell it to go right to home Don, you could tell it to go, instead of temp, you can say home Don documents, you know, la la la, wherever you want it, blah blah blah, whatever. But it'll have root privileges, and you won't be able to edit the file until you open up Crusader in root mode right up there and change the permissions. See, the permissions are can read, other group can read, others can read, and then it's not executable. It doesn't need to be. It's a text file, and it's a user Don. Now, it would say user root if you did it the other way. So that's why that's really turns out to be easier. So this is going to be my. I'm just going to copy that name and change the date because that's what I want. Let's don't, Yeah, the last time I did this looks like it was 04/12/18, so it's definitely, I've added and taken away some apps since then. I named it Yum List because I told it to do that. I should have thought to make it a DNF list. Let's just get rid of that. I don't need that. Okay. 06/17/18. Now, DNF list. One of these other ones probably does say Yum on it because no, it doesn't. I was paying attention. So, Fedora 23 Lenovo i5 DNS installed apps list. That's all the apps installed on the system. So if I opened it up in the text viewer or editor, I double click so you could Kwrite. I could edit it if I wanted. I won't. And it takes a bit of work to get it into a script, and I'm not going to show that now, but this is a list of every app installed on this system. So I can use it to build an install script when I'm setting up my new system. And I kind of thought, oh, do I really want to do that? I'm trying to drag it on down, and I can't get it to work. Anyway, it's long. I don't know why it won't go on. Maybe I'm to the bottom of it. That's why. Yeah, ZZ flip. So I don't know if it tells how many apps are in there or anything. I was expecting it to drag all the way to the bottom of the page. That's why it threw me off. Tells you the date. Doesn't have how many. It just says install packages and then acetone ISO. That's always number one. So it's in alphabetical order. But I can open up in LibreOffice in the spreadsheet application, and it'll open up in columns, and you can delete all this stuff here because you don't want. Let's see. Yeah, you don't want those version numbers. You don't want the @Fedora system. That wouldn't help you. And I'm actually, and normally that's how I do it. And so then it looks for that exact version, right there. But if it's not available, you have to put Yum or DNF skip broken, or else it'll just hang up your script. Let me go look at a script. Anyway, I'm thinking about a way of getting rid of those exact version numbers so that it'll go ahead and look for, It depends on the app sometimes, I think, whether or not you can do that. I think I'll make two scripts. Like here's one that's made up, okay. X installed script. That's from groups. That's a different type, different way of making one. Let's look at this. I'll just view it. Okay, that's just hands type stuff. Let's see, you can install apps by just the name of the app. You don't need the version numbers. That's what I'm trying to get at. I want to try to break it down to being like that. Let's see what this looks like. Now this is a way of doing it with group installed. See, like audio, sound, so-and-so, so-and-so. I may have already put, no, I don't think I have put anything else in there. And there's this is turned into a script, but there's commands you run to get these lists, and then you just edit it to turn it into a group. I call it a group install script. So that's what. Anyway, I was thinking, well, is that going to be secure? But I thought, well, none of that malware, none of those trojans or anything are going to be in the Fedora repos, and that's what This probably it's even if it did get in the list, something bad, like I'm sure there's no Trojan in there unless it's a Trojan finder like rootkit hunter. Check rootkit. There should be rootkit hunter in there too. Just the one. Maybe this rootkit hunter's not in there anymore. Well, it's not on the machine. That's what's on my machine. There's one that you have to type in. Well, the one on this machine. You have to type in check rootkit. But there's another one. When I ran it on Debian the other day, you just click on the icon and it opens up a terminal and it's a script that opens it up, types it in, and then runs it for you. And that's the one to use. I've always used that one, preferred that one. It's not hard. If you can just remember, okay, what's the command? It's real simple. Check rootkit. I think that's it. All there is to it. But anyway, there you go. That's how to make a DNF list of all your. That's just a text list. That's not a script or anything yet. I haven't turned it into one, but now I can. I'll let that go to be backed up to my backup drive. And let's go to videos here and make sure my backup looks good before I think I'll close it. Okay. Yeah, see, it's up to using 13% again. So I'm going to close it. As long as the most important thing, of course, is if your stream is working, your live stream. Sometimes things happen, and you have to. I've used those backups to, upload the backup video. Okay, and so I made my apps list. Back up again. Let's see. Is everything good there? Okay. Okay, I'll take a huge risk here and switch cameras. I'll leave my preview playing. I just can't leave the audio playing, but that way I can see in the laptop that you switched, and you're talking about the desktop and you're showing your face, But okay, on my list, let's see. These lists are not, a lot of times half of what I do is not on my list, but these lists are helping me because I can check them off as I go. But delete Firefox sync data. I think I'll go in there and look at it, what I was talking about. Let's just do that right now, because if I go on to the next page, I got 4 pages of my list now. If I go on to the next page, I'll probably forget where I was at. So lists are helpful, but I forget to go by my list even when I just got through reading off of it. So we do the best we can with what we can and how we can. Okay, desktop. There we go. Now, let's get over here to Firefox again. Oh, I want to close this version. I don't want to be using that old version. And make sure. Oops. I want to pause it. Okay. Yeah, so if you do end up running, wanting to do that on your system, for your Linux system, or Fedora or Debian, either one. I don't know about the other versions. Those are the only 2 I've really used. I've played around with a few others, live CDs, but that's it. Then beware, if you click on an HTML file in Crusader or your other file browsers, you may be opening up the old version. If Firefox isn't open, it will open up the old version. Okay, and every time Firefox does any updates or anything, it will move. It does this to me, and it just flat pisses me off. There's no reason for that. Leave my settings alone. I have to do this and it's more often than even the updates, because I haven't had an update in a few days. It just does it. It puts all this crap back in there, taking up space in my toolbar up here, or my address bar and my search bar, and putting that download arrow where I can't find it over here. And there hasn't been an update, because I've been paying attention lately. Since I started with this trouble, it updated that first day or 2 that I was trying to straighten things out to 60.0.2. It hasn't updated again, so it's not the update. I thought it was the updates causing it, but I thought it sure seems to happen pretty often. Well, it happens every couple of days now. At the most, I go about a week without jacking me up like that. So, as much as I like Firefox, and I've used it since it very first came out, even I started with it in Windows, there's a lot of things they do now that aggravates me, and the worst one so far is letting these malware serving add-ons be in their add-ons page. I thought they screened them really well, and you wouldn't really have to worry about anything like that. I just thought you had to worry about whether or not you liked them or not, I mean, I knew that you should always pay attention, because there's always those times when no matter how hard anybody tries to make things secure, somebody gets by it. But when you go back to their page, to their if you go back to, I went through there a couple of times. See if I can type right. If I go back to the my bookmarks here on all this, there is the Firefox page. I made sure I didn't save any links to the bad pages, the ones with bad. But now my search, if you do click on any of the links, I've been putting these links in my video descriptions. if you do go to the Google searches, there's going to be links to these actual bad pages. Like that's a search for addonbrowser.com. Don't click on that. And I would say before you do anything, always just go ahead and get the real virus total. And then before you go to, if you're searching for something bad and you're trying to figure things out, use that virus total. You'll notice in my very first, if you watch through my videos, they're way too long for, I don't think anybody in the world will watch all of them. I wouldn't, I skip through them. But if you go to that first video, I was looking at it today, and I didn't know where the bad pop-ups were coming from. I call them pop-ups. They were tabs opening up, tabs popping up. They didn't pop up in my face. So as I figured it out, I was searching and trying to figure it out, and I was actually using their add-on to scan the links, and it did work because I showed in, let's see, was that today? I've showed it several times. You'll see, yeah, I did at the beginning. You'll see in their code that it looks like they're actually using the real, and it does look like it works because I was doing them back to back. I would use this one, and then I would use VTZilla. And yeah, that's not VTZilla. Wait a minute, is that VTZilla? Yeah, that's Virus Total. VirusTotal.com. I think I put in their address. Yeah, addonbrowser.com. That's my scan of addonbrowser.com. And the actual websites show up to be okay. And what did I see? Okay, now when you get on down here, files referring to, the files that they're referring to, look at that. All the way from 2018. 12 and 59, that's pretty bad. A flash download, free download manager, 9 and 60, even 1 is bad. I mean, it could be a false positive, but usually not, because these things are so good at hiding. If I see 1 in 60, I don't trust that file or that page, and you really shouldn't anymore. So that particular scan came up okay. It's the when you have it on your machine, I mean, that's not as bad as I was thinking, actually, but it does go, let's see, 2017, 2018, 2020, okay. So the page itself is not all bad links. I guess I've sort of been describing it that way. It feels that way when you get fake Firefox updates and it keeps popping up all these ads that look like nefarious. I didn't go to any of them, and you can't scan. And the reason I believe that the reason I know that it's malware for sure is because it's been going on. So this particular type of thing, this fake Firefox update, has been going on since 2015. It's in these documented in some of these websites to tell you how to get it out of your Windows system. I'm trying to see where it went. There it is. To make sure I don't click on something that, like I said, well, it's going to be the Google searches that if you open them up and then you click on links in the search results, you may go to something bad. That's what I'm saying. Watch out. I try to be very careful that none of these go straight to a bad link. See, I was searching for information on that fake Firefox update there. So this tells you all about it. Was called Big Search's malicious Firefox add-on. And so if you want to know the details of how I figured out it was bad in the first place, because you couldn't, like, there's a screenshot of that fake add-on. It's not going to get any bigger. You can't right-click. If you try to right-click and scan it with Virus Total or the other add-on, it just goes full screen. It won't show you where it's going either. Of course, this is just a picture screenshot, but if you got it, you can't do it. And so then it tells you, all the information. It's a good article. That's the only indication I got that the name was called Big Search. It was installed. What it did was, and it's probably a little different now, or it could be the same, but it installed a malicious add-on that could do anything from doing that tracking and taking over your search engine, tracking everything you do to try to serve you up with ads they think you'll purchase from, to key logging, monitoring your system like with remote desktop type setup. That add-on is doing these things to people. So and then this tells you how to get it out, how to get rid of it in a Windows system. Of course, I had to do it quite a bit different. in Linux, but and I didn't get it. Actually, didn't get infected from everything I've seen. I didn't actually get infected, but it tried so darn hard. What I just showed you before. Like there's my search. That's what I was trying to say. Firefox install 25. That's how I found that article. I think that's it right there. How to remove big searches. But see, if you click on this one, our update for Firefox 59, Mozilla.download. That's a malicious link. I bet you it'll show up. It was the last time I looked at it. Phishing. 2 and 68. That's too many. Where's the other one? I don't know. Well, okay, they're not showing them like they used to. It's kind of laid out differently. They used to number them 1 to 60, whatever. See, VTZilla used 68 engines. 2 of them said that it's a phishing. The rest of them say it's clean. Well, why is that? What you might don't just think that because it's only 2 out of 68, it's okay, because just 2 means it's bad. I guarantee you, because the rest of them just missed it. They missed getting to that exact spot on the site where this phishing code was, you know. So, and besides, you don't go Mozilla .download is not, okay, look down there at the bottom. Well, you can't tell because of the Google junk, but you could search for Mozilla.download in that VTZilla page. Anyway, I'm not going to go into on and on and on. I've done it for the last couple of weeks researching all this. I'm actually getting sidetracked from what I was trying to do. I'm trying to get ready to reformat this machine. But when I'm telling this story, I get so passionate about it. I want to prove what I'm saying again. But it's spread out through all these videos. So, and I'm spreading it out again in another long video. So no point in that, you know. So, anyway, yeah, these links actually I had a whole bunch. I lost some when I did a Firefox refresh, and I lost about 10 links, and I looked up and put some more back in. So some of my videos don't have like down to there or whatever. So I want to go, if I can get around to it, I'll go back and put all, you know, this in every video. But of course, these Google, you know, everybody knows how to search Google, and if you run into this yourself, then you know, you probably just have. You'd probably be better off just doing your own searches and everything anyway, if you just have the general idea. Main thing is, if you see something like that, don't click on it. But the problem is that some of those are drive-by and you don't have to click on them, and especially if you're on a Windows machine. So that's what scared me. I thought, man, any of those could be drive-bys and they could have got me, even though I didn't click on anything. Trying to look and see. Oh, VTZilla. Well, I think I showed. Oh, I showed that already in this video, so I won't go trying to go back there again. Oh, this is the thing I was going to say. Here is their Firefox add-on page, and you can right there's where you can report a bad add-on. I did that, but you see how they have virus total and big. It's a screenshot of virus total page. That's the virus total where you can either put in upload a file, put in a URL, or search for something. Like I could say SafeWeb the virus total and search it on there. I don't remember if I did that or not. Probably did. But and I showed in their code earlier. That's what they're doing. They're calling up the virus total scanner engine. But let's see if it still does it. Where's their link to their? Now, okay, general public license. That's the other thing that helped fool me. I thought, okay, it's GNU. Open source license, so it's probably good. Usually that's a good indicator that it's a good thing. Well, not in this case. See, you can hover over it, and down at the bottom left you'll see GNU.org. It's just a link to the GNU license. Okay, that's fine. They don't try to hide. They want you to see that, right? Now, where's the one that says their website? Right there. That's just a link back to this page here that you're on. Is there not even a link that says yeah, I don't even see a link to their website. I think there was one there, and it wouldn't take you anywhere. I mean, it would take you somewhere, take you to that bad site, but it wouldn't let you see where you were going. That's what I'm trying to say. Any link that's not trying to do something tricky, when you hover over it, it'll tell you where you're going to be going down there. Of course, everybody that knows when you Google search results, they show you their link. It says Google so-and-so, a bunch of gibberish, and then it'll take you to the actual page, in which ever since they started doing it, a lot of us hate that, but can't fight it. I mean, there are add-ons you can put on to try to make it reveal where it's going, but log into rate this extension. I didn't review it, rate it. I need to go ahead and do that, but I'm not going to do it right now. But it only has 2 stars now. I think it might have had 3 or 4. I don't. If it was under 3, I wouldn't have downloaded it. 3, I usually don't. Usually it's got to have at least 4 stars, so I'm going to even try it. Whatever it is, buy it or download it or whatever. But I couldn't find another one. I remember that. It's the only one I could find, and I wanted a link scanner because I was really worried about that. But other add-ons, like if I go to my add-ons, it's the only way I can kind of give. Okay, now I think if I click on that, it'll take me. Okay, now this is. See, it's addonsmozilla.org, and this is okay. Now this is the real VTZilla, right there at the top, homepage, vtzilla.com. Now it does show you where you're going, but it doesn't say virustotal.com down there. It says outgoing.proud.moza.net. Oh, I think that's Mozilla's way of doing that. And let's scan it with VTZilla and make sure. Look, of course, it says it's going to VTZilla, so you don't think it would tell you it was bad, but I thought it said VTZilla.com. Maybe it was a different link on there. Sometimes it takes a little while, so we'll go back and keep looking around the page. I don't know. Surely they haven't changed something since just the other day. But it says outgoing.prod.mozaz.net. It'd be trouble if they got... it'd be trouble if the whole Mozilla add-on thing was getting hacked, wouldn't it? And the links are getting changed. But it's clean. But it does say that. And it doesn't say... It may be a redirecting link, is what I'm thinking. It may be some of these sites are trying to do things to... Well, for one thing, they're using it to count clicks, for advertising. Okay, there it went to virustotal.com, and this is, okay, their homepage is this. See, I've been there, I've got it in my links. You can upload a file, you can put in a URL, or you can use a search term. So, let's just, whoops, can I copy that? Yeah. Except for web with VirusTotal. It may come up clean, let's just see. You can put in a URL if you want, but I want to see, no matches, okay. So I already did that on browser.com. I just showed you that. So yeah, that's really weird. But I don't like that. I really don't like that at all. But I think that's something Mozilla's doing. We'll compare a different add-on and see if it's happening to all of them. AdBlock Plus, been using it for years. So if I go to their page, it doesn't have their link right at the top. I guess they're not all putting, I guess I hadn't checked this one because I didn't think there was any reason to, but okay, number of add-ons developed. 1 add-on, right. Oh, I didn't know that. Look, I'm clicking on some of these links to see if it goes to a different page. Okay, now there is different pages, isn't there? That's still AdBlock Plus. Still at Mozilla, add-ons Mozilla. But now we've got some links. Okay, outgoing prod Mozilla. So that's what they're doing for that. That says, excuse me. I bet you that, I was going to say that could have something to do with their security setup, Mozilla's, but I don't think so. It's probably got to do with their tracking system, just like links and emails. You know, even if they may be okay, they still go through the email advertising provider site first and then on to the site. Just like Google, they do the same thing, and it just makes everything harder to figure out. More places, more points of failure, more points for somebody to hack in. Every time you got to go through another redirect, so I really do hate that. So, but with them, it's really different on their site. Okay, I'll click on that and see if it brings me up to a different page, because that was a Mozilla link. Unless it was, of course, obfuscated and not going there, but it looks to be add-ons Mozilla. I better quit jacking around here and you end up getting in trouble. They have more add-ons, so I would never use another one of their add-ons, that's for sure. I don't know if I did this before or not. Screenshots of this, but I'm going to screenshot it to help me remember. Yeah, Safer Web with Virus Total. There it is, and then there's some more. Let's just get right there. See, online virus scanner. This is to me one of the most nefarious types of add-ons. They're claiming user agent changer. Yeah, what else would they change and send back to themselves or to some other criminal? Of course, that just goes back to the add-on. Okay, so this is their main page for the, I guess, VTZilla only has one add-on, but they have, or Virus Total, but they have 3. So that's 3 to watch out for then. I don't know if I might have saw that and then didn't really think to. I remember clicking on that before now, but I don't know if I showed it in a video. Okay, so yeah, I don't see a single link like to their home page or anything. Maybe I'm missing it. I'm searching for page, home, site. Oh, and that's something that should have access your data for all websites. That's too much. There's no need in that. The only access it should have is, and I guess I never noticed that, is to the links you scan. That's the only access to anything you do it should have. Display notifications to you, yeah, fake Firefox updates. Access browser tabs, yeah, pop-up fake Firefox updates and tabs. So yeah, if I guess I didn't look at that close enough to catch the clues. Gonna have to be more careful. In the years past, if you saw GNU General Public License, it usually was the real deal. People that were up to good, not no good, and you didn't have to worry. Got there, it would tell you. You didn't really have to worry. Yeah, there's no. I mean, that's been already saved to my. I swear there was a link. There was a link, but it didn't tell you it was going. It said homepage or whatever. I'm not seeing it now. See, if you search for site, you don't see developer. Just contribute. Okay, so I don't see it. I just wonder if it's been changed. It says it has 3,076 users and 9 ratings. People, I don't usually review. People don't usually review, but I tell you what, there's enough people can go to it. But there's like 2 or 3 good reviews, and all the rest are saying this is malware. Every one of them. And that was the other day when I discovered there was a problem that it was serving up malware. So yeah, and I saw, and that confirmed, you know, the fake Firefox updates. It's in those reviews. So I got pretty far sidetracked from where I thought I was heading. Actually, when I opened up the browser to delete Firefox sync data. Let's see if I can go into that. Now here's the thing, if I just search for sync, it's quicker to find things that way. See, right now I still have logins and preferences set up to sync in this machine, and of course I can just unclick those, or I could disconnect. If I was not going to use any of it, I would probably just disconnect. And then there's another thing, I can open that in a new, I'm not sure what it's going to show is the only thing. Okay, yeah, your address, which I've showed 1,000 times, but delete account, you can delete it, and that is the only sure way I can see to make sure that that add-on or any malware that it could have possibly left behind in my Firefox sync, in my add-on sync section. See, I'm really scared to turn that back on now, because I don't know, just because I deleted it, that doesn't mean it wasn't stubborn enough to leave something behind, that they weren't tricky enough to leave something behind. I mean, they certainly would if they could, wouldn't they? If they're going to try to send you fake Firefox updates and Amazon pages to try to get you to log in there. You know, why would they want you to log into an Amazon page? Well, because they're tracking what you're typing on your system. They're going to try to steal your credit card number, and you know, and get and so on and so on. So terms of service, privacy notice, that was the other thing. Privacy is fundamental, yeah, to a healthy internet. Let's see. Shares appoint you settings, share. Let's see. I'm not going to read through all this right now. I haven't looked in this in a long time, but I thought I would see location. Looks like it'd be well worth a long read, or search. That's, you can't. I mean, it'd take a day to read through this whole thing, probably the way these things usually are. But you can at least search through for certain things like personal information. Yeah, data's going to be in there 1,000 times. What I was wondering is, let's see. I'm really wanting to see right now is sync data. Let's see. If you enable sync data, I won't read it. You can read it. I'll make it bigger. Make sure you can read it. Yeah, so if you delete your Firefox account, then it'll delete all that. That's probably the only way to make sure it's all gone. It says it will always ask, and it does always ask you, and I always say no. So-and-so website wants to know where you're at. No, you don't need to know where I'm at. And I always turn off. It's kind of weird because you want to use the Google Maps and, you know, find directions and all that. So I have most of it turned off and some of it turned on so that the map will work good. But sometimes you really don't want any of it turned on, you know. So I just don't want it following me around, this big machine in the sky following me around everywhere I go, or knowing that I never go anywhere, you know, either way. And it's really hard in Android to get it the way you really want it. But of course, if you set it one way, then you forget and leave it that way forever. I do. Yeah, I wouldn't upload any screenshots, especially after this. I wouldn't upload any screenshots. I don't use that. I use an app on my machine. I do use that right there, and it has a good reputation. But it's kind of the same situation. I've been using it for several years before Firefox came up with their own screenshot thing. But I don't tell it. I only save them on my machine. But I'm sure they can see those screenshots if they want to, you know, that Nimbus. But I don't upload them to their little cloud thing. I never joined it. That was something that was a problem in years past, is with some of these nefarious screenshot apps that were automatically taking screenshots of, as you surfed, and then uploading them to their servers and using them for whatever they wanted to. The nice guys use it for tracking for shopping ads, and the mean ones, of course, could break into your accounts and everything. Back before your passwords were, you could see them when you typed them. Of course, you can still turn them on sometimes, if you want to, on a lot of sites. You need to know if you typed it right. You get 3 chances or you're out, and then you're stuck. If you're having trouble typing it, then you need to see what it is, what you're typing. Okay, I'm kind of, like I said, when I started this, I'm tired, so I'm not really comprehending all this. I want to save that page in Firefox. I haven't been to it lately because it's not in my bookmarks. So I read all this stuff. I read most of this when I signed up originally, and I've looked at it a few times, but changes all the time too. Add-ons. Okay, let's look at sync again. See how many times sync is in there. Enable and disable sync, or we already know how to do that. Did I spell it wrong? The word personal is not in there at all. Okay, so privacy notice. So that was right there, privacy notice. And what I had done is I go to edit preferences and then search for sync. That's what I did to quickly get to this stuff. If you just go through it, you can find it too. Terms of service, manage devices. So if I get rid of my search terms, and you go page by page. So I'm thinking that the safest way to now there's the it's Firefox account, yeah. And then settings for browser privacy. But I mean, since I know there's been a bad add-on in my sync account, the only way I can see to safely, I don't see a way to see how many different things you can delete. Clear data, cookies and so on, manage data, exceptions, except cookies and sites until I have it on until I close Firefox. But it's even though I put some exceptions in there, it's still a pain. They don't get it. They still keep deleting the cookies, and I still keep having to log in. And it is a pain. And then on third parties, I just say never. There's just no reason for it. If I didn't visit, there's 3 options there: always, and their default was always, or from visited. Well, I used to think you had to do from visited so that things would work right, but generally I don't go to another site from the site I'm on anyway, unless it's Google, So anyway, so far no noted headaches, but with just cookies in general, there's only 2 options, and I think there used to be another 1 or 2 until they expire, which can be forever with most of them. Some of them never, a lot of them never expire. So they're always tracking you. If they're on your machine, they're tracking you no matter where you're at. That's the thing. Everywhere you go, and until I close Firefox. So that's what I'm doing right now. And certificates, I've always used ASCII every time. That's a default. View certificates, and that's pretty complicated. If you set it up too customly, you better know what you're doing. You'll really mess yourself up. But see, there's only 13 megabytes of space that's being stored right now in cookies. I'm sure there would have been, well, cookies aren't real big. Most of them, they used to all be text files, but now they have every different kind of cookie files and database cookies. I mean, the flash cookies were the big ones that I used to use. What was it called? I can't remember the name of it. I used to use a browser add-on that been retired. with the new Quantum Firefox that would automatically delete those flash cookies and stuff. They were called super cookies, and I don't know if there's still super cookies out there or not. I've read that they kind of went away from that. I think they use CVS or files or something, or some other kind of dynamic website file format. But I do know that a lot of cookies nowadays don't have an expiration date. So saying keep till they expire means keep them forever, basically. The only reason they would want them they would expire is if the website wanted them to expire so they could write a new one for different, for whatever reason they want to. Could be good, bad, or ugly, So, but clear data would only clear cookies. Manage data, well, there you go. That's the cookies. Even when I've got delete all cookies when I shut down Firefox, that's how much I've got right now. In the last, looks like 7 p.m. to 9:39 p.m. General overview there. So I don't see anything. I search for delete, and across this whole preferences section, I see no delete. Add-on data, permissions, notifications. I searched for ADD-ON, and now I see add-ons and stuff. That's how they spell it. That's the proper way. Most people don't bother with the extra, the dash. And warn you, yeah, better leave that on. That's what saved me. Warn you when the websites try to install add-ons. Websites should never install anything on your computer, period. There's no website I would ever trust to install something without asking me first. And if it asks me, I better know exactly what it is and who they are. And, there is an add-on or two I have used from technical sites. One of them was Texas Instruments, and it was an add-on to let you write files to their developers boards. I have a couple of Texas Instruments developers boards, and that was you could either do that or download some software and install it. And actually, it's all usually geared toward Windows. They have some for Linux, but it's either hard to install or doesn't work very well, or complicated to use. Anyway, the last time I messed with my TI boards, I ended up having to install that add-on to the browser. It's gone now. It was a different machine. I don't remember what it was, but it's not. Well, it's gone now because I refreshed Firefox, but I don't think it was in there in the first place. But that's the only time I can even think of that I let some other website install an add-on that wasn't in the Firefox add-ons, pages. But now, this is the first time I've ever had trouble with an add-on being malware related. I've had lots of trouble with them being buggy and not working right and crashing Firefox and stuff like that, but I've never had them be malware serving up from the website of an add-on developer, ever. But it's just really kind of weird. It kind of aggravates. I think one thing that aggravates me is they retired some of my favorite add-ons, and now this happens, and it almost got me. And the whole thing is the reason they retired them is to make them safer. And now it looks to me like there's two pages that I can find, not even trying. Not trying to look for, let's go find bad add-ons in the Firefox system. There's two of them that looks to me like they're both trying to clone or look like they're VTZilla. The one I know is bad, and the other one probably is too. I showed you that earlier. So manage devices, terms of service, privacy. So that's the only way I can see to do it is delete the account, and that may be what I'm going to end up doing before. I really am kind of leery of. It's logged in now. Sometimes it logs right in. Sometimes it asks you to log in. I'll see. Google says sign in. So, but this one logged itself in, and I put those two, this page and Google, into my exceptions. So, I'm not quite sure. I don't see any other way to know for sure. Maybe that's what I'm going to have to do. I don't see any other way to know for sure that there's nothing left of that bad add-on in my Firefox, my Firefox Sync account. Is to delete the whole account and start over. I hate to do that. I have to delete it and then make a new one. I don't know, they may make you wait a while to start a new one or something, which I guess is not a big deal. I don't depend on all that, I don't use bookmark sync ever since I lost all my bookmarks 2 or 3 years ago with that sync. I back them up manually, and then I can just to HTML files, and then I can import them to whatever browser I want. It's not convenient, but actually, I have a lot. I've said this over and over. I have lots and lots of bookmarks, thousands, and I really do depend on them. And that sync would. That's another reason why I quit using the bookmark sync, is because it's really resource intensive when you have a lot of bookmarks, and it would, even this quad core with 4 gig of RAM, it would just bring it to a screeching halt, every time it would sync. And of course, you never know when it's going to do it. It just does it whenever, usually not long after you open up Firefox, And it could last 10 minutes, so that's the other reason why I just quit. I couldn't use it on some of the older machines, and then when I lost all my bookmarks that one time, I said, forget this crap, So, yeah. And especially for Mom, because she doesn't know. It's really lucky that she didn't just click on that, or not, or that it was. The other thing is, it's something that showed all those scans I was just going through. Something that sent out that many Trojans, 20 some odd Trojans. That was just off of that laptop. In the browser cache. Actually, I didn't get all that in these other machines, and it may be because these are Fedora and they have SE Linux, but I didn't see SE Linux popping up, warnings like crazy either. So only when I tried to install TeamViewer on this machine here, the TeamViewer 13, then it did 6 or 8 of them. And I think it was because it was trying to, I think what you had to do, I never did find it on their site, I looked, but you have to uninstall the old version to install a new version. I think I remember that now. So I think the alerts were actually because it saw something trying to overwrite files that were already there, and it couldn't do it. It wouldn't let SE Linux stopped it. It wouldn't let it do it because it looked like something bad, and it could be something bad. It wasn't something from the Fedora repos. It was an RPM file trying to write over files that were already there. So I think that's pretty sure that's what it was, because I went ahead and scanned the machines again to make sure that wasn't actually related to all this malware junk that had tried to track my system. So I'm going to say that I bet that the reason that the Dell 1525 had 20 some odd Trojans in its browser cache, and 2, they may have been from now, not from previous. It very well could have been. Those old, I don't remember if those old files were, I know they were old, but I don't know if they had ever been on a Windows machine. If they're on a Windows machine, it's very likely they could have gotten infected through something crawling through there. I've had plenty of infections on Windows machines even, and I've always been really careful. I started learning back in Windows 98 about all this by getting hit, And well, I started learning about virus scanners in Windows 3.1, which actually was in 1998. I learned to use Windows 3.1 in 92, but then I learned how to make a Microsoft Works address book and a couple other things, and then there wasn't anything else really interesting to me, And there was internet. One of my friends had internet, but there was nothing there but bulletin boards and stuff, and I didn't see anything interesting. I never learned. I could have downloaded software and tried new things out, but I didn't learn that at the time. So in 98, we actually got a computer. It was a Packard Bell 486 with Windows 3.1.1. I guess I didn't know. I didn't make any decisions on the purchase, but my mom got it, and anyway, it was full of great software. It was a cool computer, and we used it. I used it until probably about 90. Well, we got it before we started getting on the internet. I started getting on the internet on AOL in 98. We had it a year or two before then. Didn't use it a whole lot then either. But when AOL came out, by that time, there was lots more stuff on the internet, lots of things, and there was places to learn about things, and that's when I got into it. So anyway, immediately I started learning about the need for virus software, and I used to F-Secure, Dr. What was it called? Not Dr. Web. That's the one I have. That's the one I have on my. Something about a doctor. A red picture. I remember that, and something about a doctor. Anyway, and McAfee. Those were the three main ones I used that were out back then. So I've always tried to be careful, use virus software, and I don't know how many times I've had Windows machines getting infected. And I used to we used to think we could clean them up, but you really couldn't because stuff could hide so well. People already knew how to do that. And you just cleaned up the ones that could be seen, and the others hid, and some of them were time bombs that opened up later. And I've seen it happen to me, or to other people especially. I've used to clean up people's machines for them once in a while, and so I've gone on and on about of course I've gone on and on about how hard it is and how particularly I try to be to make sure stuff's cleaned up. What I've really learned, especially nowadays, is proliferant as they are, malware is all over the internet and everything. And of course, it gets on USB sticks. You could not be on the internet and still get it off a USB stick. Or we bought a OBD2 reader for an automobile, to read the data from your car computer. The little mini CD with the software came from China. Like 3 or 4 of those apps that came on there that was said free software, and you put it. I learned. I scanned those apps before I started installing them. I think they might have went off before I ever got them copied. I'd copy them. What I do is copy them to the machine. Don't install straight off the CD, but copy them to the machine and then scan them. And there's all kinds of Trojans and crap in there, straight from the manufacturer. So that's another reason why I know that China is one of the top offenders. And you can't delete it off that CD, so every time anybody sees that CD and decides to use it, they're going to get it. And they don't, they just sit back there and do their work, too. You can install them, and they will not. I can't remember, I think 1 or 2 of them did go off, VAS went off, but they're probably, I think they're just, they were smart enough to run in the background and just do what they were going to do, But anyway, and they weren't just adware and stuff like that. Most stuff has adware in it, sending up ads and stuff. This was real Trojans, bad things, I don't remember the details now, exactly what kind they were, but I remember they were bad ones. So anyway, talked myself into being tired. Okay, so I went blank in 10:18. Even though I got up late, I'm tired already. Let's see, I'm going to look at my notes, but I think I thought maybe after I kind of got into this work, I thought I would actually get some real work done, like start manually backing things up and stuff, but really going through that's helpful. I mean, what I've done here on this video, half of it's just been rehashing everything, and then just a little bit of it's been getting some actual work done that I was wanting to get done. But the more I go over this, the more I'll know that I've been thorough. And like I finally kind of getting into my head, I really may have to delete my accounts because there's just no way for me to know whether there's some of that malware left behind in my Firefox Sync account. I just can't think of any way to know that I'm safe. I don't see any way. I mean, I could go on their site and search and see if there's there might be some way you could know that stuff is gone without having to redo your account. But delete your account. But especially, like I said, for Mom. But I want her to be able to. I want her passwords to be well. Linux has. I was just thinking. I don't know if they'll work in the web browser. There's in Linux. Let me go back to the screen. desktop. I'm going to have to, well, I almost messed up. I almost clicked stop recording. I'm going to have to take a break, so I imagine as tired as I feel, I may just quit and not come back tonight, but I'll show this right quick. Key ring, keyboard, let's see. Passwords and keys. Okay, now I don't know if this is the KDE version. There's one for Mate and one for KDE. This is the Mate one, I think. Seahorse. This is what I usually just use whatever comes with them, you know. So this one I evidently came with Mate, I'm going to figure. And okay, I've got my preview playing. Let me make sure my audio is still good and everything. So this one yeah. Okay, so of course I don't want to show any of these. I don't know what's going to be showed. I don't think it would show the passwords in plain text, but it might. What's this? Okay, these are my local pages I go to, like probably my routers and stuff. Okay, now that's way back homeip.net. That used to be my I run a web server, and in order for my DNS server, it's a DNS basically redirector. You go to bishopco. It would always point my bishopco.com. It would make it find my IP address changes from my ISP. It's not static. I guess they call it dynamic. But anyway, it changes ever so often, and this would follow those changes and make sure my website went to my website, you know. So the only thing is, when you got there, it would say bishopco.homeip.net. I didn't like that, but I don't use that one anymore, do I? I have another one. I had to get a different one because now I can't even remember. Going blank here. But let me see. I'll go to my website and see. Maybe that is it. But I don't. Well, it didn't go away. So if I go to bishopco.com, okay, yeah. Now it's bishopco.us.2. That homeip.net, it used to be free in that. It's not free anymore, but this one is free now. So it actually hurts my search engine rankings, but it works really well. So that's a free DNS, I guess you'd call it a redirect, or something else they call it, I forgot now. But that goes to my website, and I have them all set up like that. But this is still in there from the past when I used to use that other one. I don't know what all that stuff is. I've been using the Firefox password deal. When I save passwords, I haven't been. Obviously, it's tracking. See the places I've been, and then there's keyring storage. I'm not going to click on them because I don't ever get in here. I don't know what it shows. GNU GPG keys. No, I'm sure there's some of those in there from me using SFTP and stuff. Open SSH keys. So yeah, says that one shows unlocked and that shows locked. And that could be the other option instead of using any outside password blockers or whatever you want to call them, encryptors. You could use the ones that come with your Linux system. And there's, like I said, I know like some of the apps only use the KDE wallet, that one there, yeah. Some of the KDE apps, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to make them use anything but the KDE wallet. I don't think it's even set up. Doesn't look, yeah, it's not even set up. But KRFB, the remote desktop VNC app that I use, that's the viewer I usually use with it. It's the only one I can get it to work with is KDE wallet. But as you can see, I haven't got it set up in there. So let's see. I'll go back to my screen again. So that is an option, but I would have to be learning some stuff. And I imagine once I got it set up, it should be transparent for Mom. She wouldn't. Might be better. There is one problem I've always had with Firefox password manager, and that is if you change your password on the website, then it just stores double passwords. And usually it'll come up and say, do you want to change this password for this site? But not always. And I know that it's not just an oversight by the user every time, because, well, for one thing, it keeps them separate, like www.google.com. They do it with cookies, and they do it with passwords too. I've seen it in there. And google.com, and then https google.com. That'll all be 3 separate entries. Well, I've seen in my mom's where it had 3 different passwords in there, and she loses her password. She'll change them. She'll do the password reset without asking me for help, and she'll end up. I've seen her have 3 passwords for the same site in her, and it just jacks everything up. So you've got to. And she don't know how to go in there and delete those. So what you got to do is go in there and delete those passwords. Or, for instance, if you want to log into the same website with 2 different users, on the same machine, you get in that same problem. And the only way to get around it is let's say I have my password saved. So, and then I decide to go log in. Let's say I went to log into Gmail for my mom on my machine. Well, then it will just jack everything up. Last time I tried something like that, I got locked out of my account for 3 days. And I tried to do it right. What did I do? I don't remember. Well, what you can do is go in there and delete your password out of the password saver. Go ahead and log in. And even if you tell it, I remember I've tried it several times, and if you tell it, don't save this new other password, that's what I was trying to do. Don't delete my password. Log into this other one, and when it says, do you want to save this password, say no. Well, it still jacked it up anyway. And so the next time I try to log into mine, it logs me into the wrong account, or puts I don't remember the details. And it wasn't with Google that the problem was. It was with Walmart. But so now I just will not try to log into 2 different user accounts on the same machine. Now, you could if you do different usernames on the same machine. That's what I did on her brand new machine. When I first started having trouble with this, I went ahead and made me a username on her machine. That was before I realized that hers had that add-on on it too. But luckily, my username, I did not sync anything. I just put AdBlock Plus in there, and I didn't turn on Firefox Sync whatsoever, so it didn't get in trouble. But hers did. It already wasn't. I didn't know it. So anyway, as you saw, that's pretty detailed, and I bet you could manage those passwords really well. I don't know how well it would work with websites. It has the functionality. I just saw that. I think if I set that all up, I might be able to manage all my passwords for everything on this machine in there. And I'm pretty sure you can export those and then import them into other machines too. Of course, I'd have to do that myself, but I would be in control of it, and it would be encrypted. I know they're encrypted, and they wouldn't be out there on the internet for somebody to hack into. Of course, they can always hack into your machine. It's possible, but generally they're going to waste their time hacking on big databases that gives them a big payoff. So. It might be a better way to go. I'll be thinking about that. Yeah, I've got on here delete Firefox Sync data, but really all I see is you can delete cookies, and that's all. So I guess I might as well put an X by that. Now I'll just go on to the next. Report the malware. I did that. Okay, install OBS Studio, what I'm using to make my videos on Mom's machine. I think I will do that so that when I reformat this one, I can be streaming from her machine. Because now that I've scanned it and it showed up to be, actually it was clean, it didn't show anything in it whatsoever. And I scanned it with ClamAV, but I said that earlier in the live Fedora 28 security remix, or their spin, or whatever they call it. Fedora Labs, I think, is where you get their section called Fedora Labs. And scan the backup drive again. I've already done it once with Bitdefender, but I've added files since then. And Firefox report site, yeah, I did that. Okay. And I'm about dying to go have a break here. Made my apps list. Oh, I want to make one on Debian too. I know there's a way to do that. And okay, I think that's really it. And so I think I'm going to have to go. So, and I think I'm done for the night. I really was tired before I started. I was too tired to get anything done. All I did was jabber. So, anyway, they're all clean, and I feel like I can use them in the meantime while I'm still not going to be typing in any passwords. I mean, I'm just logging into sites that I have the encrypted passwords already saved in the Firefox sync, but, well, and I turned off sync, I think, on all of them now. And, or just didn't sync. Well, like this one, I think I have it to sync passwords, but I think the other one I turned it off on. So, you know. But anyway, I guess I will go, and I'll come back and probably tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get some work done. All right, bye-bye.